This is your March 2026 update on the Marin County single-family home market, and this month the numbers are setting a trap for anyone who reads them too quickly. Because in Marin, the story that gets your attention first is not always the one that matters most. And if you're buying or selling right now, that difference does matter. By the end of this video, you'll know what to pay attention to. So let's get to it. Last week, in the overall Marin County real estate update, the big takeaway was the market looked stronger than it actually was. And part of that was because there were 4 whale sales over 6.2 million, which pushed some of the averages higher and made the Marin housing market look more aggressive than it was for the typical buyer or seller. By the way, by next month, I'm going to be able to put some numbers on that whale sale, like how much did it push the averages or not. The other important takeaway was that this is still a split market. A large share of homes sold above list, but a very large share still negotiated down. This week, the single-family home market tells a similar story, but more sharply, because in Marin single-family homes, it's even more important to separate what looks hot from what's actually happening underneath. And if this kind of breakdown is the least bit helpful to you, please subscribe so you don't miss my next update and so you encourage me to keep doing this. Now, on to the charts. And here we see that inventory, the light green bars, is going up. Happens every year. There's usually more houses on the market. You can see that number with the red line, which is that more homes are pended, so that means that there's some more sales. And the blue line here is the actual new listings, and that's only up a little bit. The green bars here are how many homes have sold, and like every spring, there are more homes selling. You can see all of that reflected over here. These are the month number compared to last month. They're all way up. But even compared to last year, so remove the seasonality aspect that things always get hotter in the spring, and now 3 of those are down. The only one up is pended, the amount of houses that are under contract now to be sold, and we'll probably see this reflected by next month as in this green bar instead. In any event, the for sale homes are down just a tiny bit over 1%. The new listings are down almost 42%. That's pretty significant. And the sold prices are also down almost 17%. But again, now let's back up, look at the full quarter numbers to get some more statistically significant things. This first one, the for sale, that doesn't work in the way that they calculate this, but we can see the other ones. So the new listings are down almost 28%. So, but not as bad as 42%. The sold homes are actually the same. It's 0 difference. And then last, the pended homes are still up. They're up 10%, but not as much as the 16%. So it's a typical spring. Things are hotter than usual. And here we have days on market, which have decreased like they do every spring. It's just easier to sell a house in the spring than any other time of the year. The actual numbers on that down almost 32%. However, that's no change from this time last year. Same amount of days on market, and worse, if you add up the full quarterly numbers, then it is down 2%. Not that much though. Regarding the sales price over the original list price, so just like how good are sellers at pricing their home at what it's actually going to sell for, well, that went from 98 to 99, which represents they're 1% better at that than they were, but the prior month. But when you compare it to this time last year, they're 2% worse than they were, and the full quarterly numbers also 2% worse. Right about in line though, right? And now we are to prices. You can see the median bars went significantly up, as well as the average price went up a lot. Now remember, the average price did have like 4 whale sales in it. I mentioned that from my video last week, and so that really does affect the average price, and it affects it more with the single family homes than it does for the overall Marin County. And how that looks like, the median price is up almost 12%. The average sold price, which is a little less important because it includes these whale sales, it's up almost 15%. You compare it to, that's just month over month, compare it to last year, then the median sold price is up almost 4%, and the average sold price, less reliable, is up almost 13%. But then when you back up and look at the quarterly numbers that are just a lot more statistically relevant, the median price is down 6%. So now we're seeing some down movement that we can count on the market actually being down. The average price is still showing up 9%. But this is comparing the not only whale sales that happened this month, but it's like this time last year, I don't actually have the stats on how many whale sales were there then. So this becomes a really difficult number to track on the average and just makes it so that Marin County is, particularly in single family sales, is just much more reliable as the median number. And the last number on here, well, the line, this is the green line, which is what homeowners are asking for the price. I usually don't pay much attention to that beyond the prior chart that we just saw. And the last bit of evidence here on pricing is that the price per square foot, this is an average, went up quite a bit. Up from prior month, almost 12% compared to last year, almost up 7%. Looking at the full quarter, not as much, just beyond 5% up. But the story here is that it does appear that home buyers are getting less for their money per square foot, although we don't know, again, whether or not these are the homes that were, really prepped to sell at the highest number, cosmetic changes on the inside, staging, as opposed to homes that have that older look because they're just not updated at all. A lot of home sellers in Marin County understand that dynamic of how much more money they get when they go to prepping it. And so a lot of homes are prepped that way. But I don't know what that was in all these other ones. So I don't know whether or not we had an unusual month full of more homes that are prepped or not. This is again where the data is just difficult to tell what's going on. And again, it's why you need an agent on the ground. What this means, if you're buying in Marin right now, you're not competing everywhere. You're competing on the homes that are fully dialed in, well priced, and positioned correctly. On the rest, discipline matters more than speed. If you're selling a single family home in Marin, pricing discipline matters a lot. This is not the month to let a few standout sales convince you your home will automatically ride their coattails. The market will reward preparation and realism. It will punish overconfidence. Answering questions. Is Marin a buyer's market or a seller's market? Well, for single family homes in Marin, it's still seller leaning, but it's not broadly aggressive. It's selective. The best homes are still creating urgency. Everything else has to earn its number. Are prices rising or falling? The answer depends on what you measure. The short-term numbers say up. The more reliable quarterly medium says down. So this is not a clean appreciation story. It's a mixed market with strength at the top and more softness underneath. Is inventory increasing or decreasing? Seasonally, inventory is increasing. Structurally, supply is not abundant. So buyers have a bit more room than they did, but not enough room to get sloppy. By the way, I'm Carrie Hill, lawyer turned realtor, 30-year Marin veteran, and the person who can provide backup if you're buying or selling in Marin. And if you want my free monthly closed sales newsletter with exactly which homes closed in Marin and how much they sold above or below list, information you're not going to find anywhere else, the link is in the description. Next week, I'll put out a video covering condos and townhouses. So if that's what you're looking for, don't miss it. The stats are so different from single family homes. And if you're exploring homes for sale in Marin or you're thinking about selling, you'll see additional video recommendations above. And subscribe so you don't miss these monthly no fluff Marin real estate updates. Thank you for watching and have a great day.